Right, okay guys, been away for a couple of days, but back. Last time I was playing with around is that the flywheels were twisted because of the wire holding it on, and that's got to stop because if slightly off it'll shoot the dart down the barrel and it'll hit the side of the barrel and it'll stop. So what I'm planning to do is put epoxy putty in around there, press it and hold it together, so I'm making like a spacer that fits in the right place. Now my major problem in the past with epoxy putty is waste. Basically I always make too much and I don't want to do that. So I thought, how can I work out what goes in there and not waste any epoxy putty? And it's easy, plasticine. So I've just wrapped some plasticine around it, put that in place. I actually wrapped the plasticine around the end of this that goes in there, right, around the end of the flywheel box. Oops, and I'm losing screws. Then I've closed it and pushed it in place. Now I'm going to open it up and you can see how the plasticine's been formed, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this excess, weigh what I've got left, and then weigh that amount of putty up before I use it. I'm under lockdown like everybody else, so I can't go out and get any more. And there it is. So, okay, I see I've got some issues around this side, but that's not too much of a trouble. Because I'm not really concerned when I put this in if this putty sticks to the body of the blaster. I'm going to put some Glad wrap in there, what we call, I think you call it food wrap. Just so it doesn't, so I can have this puttied piece as a separate piece, but it probably won't work. But as long as I can get it, if it sticks on one side, that's fine. And as long as I can take the top off and get to the insides, I'm happy. And if I have to do a little bit of grinding and cutting, not a problem. So, first thing is to just get my craft knife and cut off what I don't think is actually necessary. So, alright, so I know roughly where my line is, so I can just pull that off and destroy it, and I can pull off the excess. Alright, okay, and this is the plasticine. 15 grams, okay? So, what I'll do is I'll mix up maybe like 17 or 18, just because there's a few areas it can go into. Right, so, there's my original plasticine, there's my putty. They're about the same volume-wise. There could be a difference in density, but I don't think that should really be a problem. So here we go, mashing up my putty. I just rub it between my hands and fold it over and rub it again and rub it again. This also gets it nice and warm, so makes it really pliable. And if it's not mixing, you just knead it a bit, then rub it again. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's nice and warm. So, put it around the edge there, around the edge there. Join lines between the, sorry, God, you haven't seen a single thing of that, have you? As I was saying, I noticed I can use the join lines between the plastic to line things up. And on the top, which is pretty good. And I'm looking at things like the spacing between there and there and there and there, and it looks a bit wider on that side, so I'm just going to move it over this way a bit, trying not to pull it out and ruin the entire thing. Yes, so that's not wanting to stick in there, so the Glad wrap is doing its job. Put a clamp on this to hold it in place. Now that's about, I think, 15-20 minutes to set off. So that's just about where I want it. Take my finger off, it's not wanting to move too much. It looks either way, but it's actually back on center. So how that happened, I do not know. But I'm happy it did. Okay, so that'll dry. So we've got a list and we won't forget anything. So if this goes to plan, this epoxy putty should hold that front piece in all by itself. So the whole thing looks like it has to come out. Yeah, there we go. It's even got, didn't even get hooked on the little screw there. So, but that seems to hold it in really, really, really nice. which is really annoying. I'm going to have to put it all back together and do a test fire. Now let's see how we go. Yep, we're back to being happy. What I've also done, I've attached a pistol grip to the aluminium frame. Then I'm going to mount this in here, where it goes. Right guys, as you can see, I've got the receiver screwed into the frame, one screw either side. I've got a piece of PVC pipe just taped to this, the internal structure. I've got the pistol grip screwed in, and I'm just going to do the same test, touch the wire to the battery, see if the actual darts get out of the end of the barrel. So you can see that. Okay. Here we go. Six darts, six round magazine. So I'm frankly astonished that that worked. So I will move on. Kill. I'm going to fit this to this straight away. Now, of course, yesterday I used the last two saddle clamps I had in the shed. Of course I did. So I've got some of this, which is just this is just metal stripping that you use to hold, you know, wooden fences together or shade cloth down. You just bang nail through the hole. And I've got a 15mm socket, which is about the same diameter as this pipe, which is 15mm. So I'm actually going to use the socket to bend the metal around so I get an actually nice curved shape. There's a couple of ways you can do that. Simply by hand and bending around, but you can see it's rising in the center. So what I'm going to have to do is put it in the vise and do a little bit of tapping with the hammer. Now, because the socket is not a high quality piece, it works fine, but it's not a high quality piece, I'm not going to be pounding it repeatedly. Just little taps just to get it to conform to the shape I want. Hold it like that and tap it down, and you get a nice curve without the little point in the center, right? So that fits over the end of this pipe much better now. Now all I've got to do is bend it out at the base for where it's flat. And so the simple way I'm going to do that is simply run up the edge so I can see that's the edge there. That's roughly how it's going to be. So if I get my trusty texter, so that's going to sit there, that's going to sit there, and a couple of little marks. So quick, simple, easy saddle clamp. Not perfect, but it will do in a pinch. Okay guys, while the music's low, here we go. Full 10 round test, barrel bolted down. There we go. Got my gun together. I've had a little bit of luck here too. I found the original piece which I was going to use anyway. Fits straight in. It just, the barrel is a little bit high. So what I've done, just scrap off the barrel, mark the center line on this, put that in, scribed around with it with a craft blade, got some of my, did my little trick getting dirt into the cut. Now I've got my drum sander, so what I'm going to do is drill out that big portion of that and just sand it fit, usual thing. Okay, yeah, so it's almost there. I just got some really fine detail work to do, so I'll get back to you in a minute guys. Time for a change. Now I was looking for some sort of muzzle for the front of the gun, and I stumbled across something that could help me kill two birds with one stone. The old top of the outside of the Thunderhawk. It's got this huge ridiculous mega on it there, but if we cut that right along that line, it'll actually go on there like that. Other way of course, and just put a bevel up this end, and that'll fill that all in one nice neat piece, which would be great. And I can't believe how brilliant this is. This is a lot more comfortable to hold than my original front grip, and it actually fits over that bottom bit rather well. Just got to get a few things in and out of the way, but there we have our rough shape, and we have our cool little top cover, ground to shape. Now I'm not sure what to do, whether to grind this curve further in and just have this slot over, because it can go up to about there, or just fill it in there with something else. But that's that side, so that's roughed out. Now I'm going to rough out this bit for the underside. So back soon. I'm quite happy with what I've done with this part. That's pretty straightforward, easy. But I'm a little bit unsure about down here, because it's got this nice shroud bit as well. Don't know whether to put it like there, or like there, or even a bit further back. So this is one of my tricks I do. When I'm trying to plan things out, I take photos of them and get it on my computer, do a little bit of photoshopping. So I'm going to do this now just to try and work out the best place to get this positioned. Hi guys, Andy Work here. Just getting the camera set up, show you how I do the mods on screen. It's pretty simple, it's just a little bit of photoshopping. What I've done, I've isolated this part of the photo and I've made copies. And one of those copies I've just rubbed out bits with the eraser, just trying to see where to get it positioned. But this could go like that, and I could cut it back a little bit of time to see what I like. Now, because both these items, the weapon itself, the blaster itself, and this foregrip post were at the same distance, they're at the same scale. So if I zoom in there a bit, you can see that those two are almost the same width apart. So I could just simply blend that into that, just maybe shave a little bit off. So that looks pretty good, but mind you, that looks all right too. I could take it right back, get rid of that little end bit there. Okay, I've got roughly a rough copy of the other bit. Now, what I was thinking is I could move that right back to there. Get rid of that white bit entirely on the front of the pistol grip. Get rid of that bit. Move that right back to there, so there's just this lower portion and just a little nick there. That could be interesting too. And so what you do is you just keep cutting, pasting, modifying, doing all sorts of, but I'm also going to put something, fill this area in, so that at the front, like a shroud over the barrel. The barrel, as you can see, does stick out a bit, but it's not going to be that long. I just used a cute little clone tool to reduce the length of that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So something like that. Conversely, you can take a photo of your gun, print it out on your printer, then cut it out and play with the parts. You know, this could be just as easily be a bit of paper cut out, and I'm just putting it on top. You know, so you take a photo, repeat it 3 or 4 times, print it out, then cut out the bits you want, so you can cut and paste and muck out. You don't even need a computer. You need a printer, okay, fair enough. But you know, go to your local office works and get a copy printed. So, ideas. Let's move on.